Welcome to Gateway International Speedway, where we are live here at St. Louis, Missouri, and Gateway International Speedway. I'm in the booth tonight with Dean Doucette. Dean, we have a big race on tap tonight. Here, the second to last oval we'll have of the season.
Yeah, man, Gateway, you gotta love it. Should be highly entertaining. Different lines can be taken here. There's going to be a little more racing, if you will, for ovals instead of that. You hit that dirty air, it kind of stops you. It's not happening as much here. It's a little more of a racer's track. I look forward to guys managing their cars, managing their tires. A little bit of different strategy out there tonight.
Yeah, exactly right, Dean. And we take a look at this track. 1.25 miles, so that's going to be something we have to keep an eye on. Is right now we're in the middle of qualifying, as you'll see the drivers jump up to the top on the board here in just a second. But right now, you look at the track, Dean, 84 degrees air temperature, track 86, so good racing conditions, but we're racing at night, so we kind of expect that track temp to go down a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be highly racy, and these guys are going to try and take advantage and push these cars to the limit. But I still think there's going to be room for someone to kind of finesse this car around. Maybe a Ball or Coates or someone can get that done. I look at the board now, a little surprised, Jared. Rios Mateo is way down the board in qualifying.
And let's bring that up. Charles Teed currently on the top of the board. Then we have Wagner, Ball, Coates, Shallington, Miller, your top six right now. And Dean, you alluded to it. Mateus about a half a second off the pace here at Gateway. That's not good for one of two oval winners that are on the track here tonight.
Yeah, it's not good, but I mean, it's good for us because he'll be coming to the front. That's what he does. He's going to push and come there. You also got other guys out here. Talked a little pre-race before we came on. You're talking about AJ Musselman, a winner at an oval. And I think there's another one as well out here, Jared.
Yeah, we were looking at that. It is in fact, J.W. Miller is the other oval winner. So 3 different oval winners. So apologies about that as qualifying getting wrapped up. Big concern, Dean, coming into this race with iRacing and that new damage model. It still has causing some issues. And right before practice ended, I got word from one of the administrators that several drivers actually dropped out of the race or dropped out of the session because of some sort of issue there. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on here tonight with the race.
Yeah, it's been a little different here. I don't know if they're pulling servers for this Indy series from overseas or what's happening, but yeah, there's been a few effects we've noticed. We'll keep an eye on it and just keep our fingers crossed, Jared, that that doesn't happen tonight.
Yeah, exactly right. Getting those guys on the grid real quick here, and let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid for the Gateway 150. And you look at the top, it's Charles Teed making a return back to the series. He is going to start on the pole with Matt Wagner in second place. Alex Ball, your guy that you always watch out for, Dean, he's going to start third alongside Alec Coates, who's making a return back to the series. Row number 3 is going to be Jay Shallington and J.W. Miller, Mr. Excitement. And then in row 4, we have Alex Ress and Jim Brooks, Dean.
Yeah, we got Zach T. Evans. We remember him, I believe, down at the Indy 500. Had a good showing down there. Scott Weiss still hasn't gritted, but he'll be starting in 10th. And, we hope and pray for Scott each and every week, man. We're looking for him to bust out, and maybe this is his week. AJ Musselman will be in 11th. Benjamin Cones in 12th. You got Rios Mateos 13th. Sebastian Kinder, the Frenchman, in 14th. James Watson, Cullen Johnson, Matt Jorgensen, Eric McCarthy round out the field. I don't think Patrick Byrne is going to start this race tonight.
Doesn't look like he is back in the server. He is one of the drivers that had a computer issue right before practice ended. So hopefully he can get back in, but right now looks like he has not yet, as these guys getting ready to start their sequence here. Dean, we've raced on this track in IndyCars before. We've raced on this track in NASCAR. The Truck Series predominantly races here. Take us through what this track's all about. It's a very unique track, kind of like a flat Darlington, if you will.
Yeah, and it's very interesting track to try and drive and try and master. I mean, the two corners are slightly different, and you're going to have to really master that entry and exit. It's been a while since I've been on it, but I believe that the guys who enter really shallow are going to struggle with exit, and guys who kind of do a little bit of a sweep but not too much of a sweep, there's a real fine line on this track, and if you can find that sweet spot, boy, can you go. And you can make passes here, Jared. I expect to see a lot of passing tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one heck of a race as these guys get lined up and going. While they're on that pace lap, let's take a look at our championship standings. Wilhite coming in with unofficially a 70-point lead over J.W. Miller. And then we have Alex Ball back there. Those are the only three drivers in the 400 points. Alec Coates making a return. And Dean, with Wilhite not making the show tonight, the points battle really is going to heat up with 3 more races here left in this season.
Yeah, and we're getting better and better turnouts as this IndyCar series is beginning to take off. More and more drivers showing up, so more and more points opportunities. But we need a big finish out of either Ball or Miller here to close that gap. So these guys, I mean, Ball's going to sit back, take care of his stuff till late, and Miller, he's going to push.
Here we go, getting ready to start off our second to last oval of the season. Green flag is out here at Gateway International Raceway, and a good start right there by Wagner on the inside.
Man, Teague and Wagner going at it through one here.
Battling up the track, and we got right into the leaders. And it's the leaders. It's Charles Teague, several more drivers involved. Benjamin Coates there on the screen. J.W. Miller is involved.
Holmes is involved. Cullen Johnston, Matt Jorgensen, a lot of people.
This is not what you want at the very beginning of the race, Dean, but we got it right off the cuff. Let's take a look and see what happened as we were right there with that action as it happened.
Man, that was they just squeezed each other too much, Jared.
We see these guys right there on the outside. Oh, it looks like Teed came up and Wagner was still there. And when the leaders crash, Dean, that's when the problems start. And we switch over that camera angle, and you'll definitely see nobody had anywhere to go. We look back through the pack here on board Matt Wagner, just nowhere to go after that point in time. He gets actually hit after that wreck happens. It looks like maybe Zach T. Evans was the driver that got into him. So calamity on the first lap in the second corner.
Yeah, this is big. I mean, JW injured. He's on pit road. Teague, Brooks, Mateus, Musselman, Wagner, Shallington, Weiss, Combs, all on pit road. This is disaster, but the old 29 survived. He's leading this thing now, Jared.
Yeah, and Dean, they do have those spare cars, if you will, the fast repair available for them in this series, but you don't want to use it on lap number 1.
No, don't. And you're expecting a lot of close racing, a lot of passing out here tonight. This is the last thing the guys wanted to see. And it happens though. You're just not prepared on those cold tires. You've been doing some warm up laps, and a little warmer tires. And you come out on these cold tires and maybe not ready for that push that is in these vehicles. It's going to take them 2 or 3 laps to get heated up.
Exactly right. Well, we did have a shout out by one of our normal competitors, Dean Thaddeus McMurray. He's not here tonight. He's wishing everybody some good luck. And unfortunately, the luck hit some guys early in this race. But I'm sure these guys will get it together. It's a long race, 120 laps, 150 miles. And but right now, Dean, I mean, you said at the beginning, this is a challenging track, and it's already bitten the guys.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected something like this to happen. Of course, not on lap one, but let's just, move forward. Let's move on. We got Ball and Coates and Ress up here, Evans and Kinder in your top five. And interesting to see Ball on the point. I mean, we always talk about, or I always talk about, how he ends up in the top five late. This is unfamiliar territory for him. He's leading, Jared. Is this going to throw him off? Is he going to push harder than he normally would?
I don't think he will. I think number one, I think it's very interesting when you have some hungry drivers up here at the front. Coates got through that. Alex Ress, who's had some good oval runs, got through that. It wasn't Zach T. Evans that got involved in that wreck, so apologies on that. He is in fourth place. Sebastian Kinder, the Frenchman, he's in fifth place. James Watson, who's had just came into the series, he's had some great runs going. Cullen Johnston got through that or got minimal damage from it. So, Dean, there's some hungry drivers. In fact, none of our drivers in the top 8 have won a race this year.
Yeah, it's going to make for some interesting race and see who's very hungry. Also, when you look at these guys, of course, all gaining spots. Some of them, like from 5th through to 8th, gaining 9 and 10 spots already. We're only one lap in, Jared.
Yeah, IndyCar, you look ahead, Dean. Next week, the road courses will be finished as that group will go to Mid-Ohio. And then the following week, Las Vegas ends the season out. These are 3 difficult tracks. I mean, you couldn't have picked 3 harder tracks to end the season on, but a lot at stake here as we're on board Alex Ball. Looking pretty relaxed in the car, Dean, but that's no surprise to you or anybody here.
No, he looks relaxed. I think he will be relaxed, but again, unfamiliar territory. This can throw anybody for a loop. Maybe a little uncertain of how he wants to run. He wants to stay away from the guy behind him to avoid any trouble, but he doesn't want to over push the car. Could be tricky for Ball. But you brought up something, gave me a little flashback, a little PTSD or whatever from when you brought up Mid-Ohio. Oh, God, that track is tough.
One of the toughest tracks, I think, in North America because of the massive elevation changes. And it's not really a long distance track, as looks like we are about ready to go green. I believe the pace car does not use the access roads here, which confused me. But yes, he is heading in now. Ball will lead him down, and we'll get this event restarted. It's Ball, Coates, Ress, Evans, Kinder, your top 5, and we are down away. Green flag back out here at Gateway.
Nice start by the top few there. Kind of a little gap back to Kinder, who's in 5th place.
Those guys got away very nicely here, and it looks like we're going to get through the first 2 turns without any incident here, Dean, and that's what these guys want to see. But Ball stretching this thing out. Now, there's no push to pass and no tire strategies in the oval race, so this is going to be huge to see what can happen here. Ball really stretching it out, but Coates is on his tail now.
Yeah, you can see just how quickly you can gain up on guys here. So there's a good little draft down these straightaways. Coates going to pull right in. Now, the key is this is a passing track. You can pass on the outside. You can pass on the inside. But after what we just saw, we expect a little bit of, let's take it easy here. And I think that's what Coates is doing right now.
Looking on board, Alex Ball looking back at Coates. And Ress is also there. Ress is having some connection issues. He keeps disappearing there. That's not comforting for him. I'm sure he wants to stay in this race, get himself back in the playoff, or not the playoff picture, but the standings picture here. But you're looking at this. They're running a lot different lines. It looks like Ball running kind of an outside in, and Coates is running an inside out, and Coates is going to look inside one.
Yeah, here comes Coates down to the inside, but that big outside run from Ball should be able to hold him off. And that's the tricky thing here. That's Ball's a very intelligent driver. This is what you want to do here. Passing on the outside is actually the way to go, more so than the inside. And Ball taking that lane away. Very interesting to watch this dynamic play out.
Well, Dean, let me ask you a question. As a driver, you know, now, number one, we have the dynamic, or not necessarily dynamic tracks back, but the ability to have multi-groove racing back. Is taking the shorter radius around the track, it's harder on the tires because you have a higher turning angle. So is Ball kind of already playing like a tire game here by taking that outside line?
It's possible. I mean, knowing Ball, yes, he probably is. Using that clean air and a smoother line to save some tire. And that's what you need to do here. I'm telling you, this place, as these laps wear in, you know, lap 15, lap 20, and you'll start to see a difference here. It's not all about draft at that point. It's going to be a lot about tires and who can get that power down on exit a little bit earlier than the other guy. So these guys all got to manage these cars here.
Exactly. And don't forget, we do have the weight jackers, the ARBs, all that stuff still available to do. But, you know, Ball, he's got some tough competition behind him. Rest, we're on board with him. Slides up the racetrack, going into one. That car getting a little bit tight in that draft, but Ball, he has two mediocre motorsports drivers right behind him in Coates and Rest right now. And Coates going for the lead.
Yeah, Coates going to take the lead there. Ball, you know, forever thinking long run, is just taking it easy here. And, you know, I like the call to take it easy. I don't know if he had to give up the lead or not, but he's done it now, and now he's got Rest all over him.
Alex Rest, driver that's done really well. Remember, we lost Coates again, so we'll stay with Ball here just in case we keep having a little bit of connection issue there with Coates. But Rest, I mean, he had a great run at Chicagoland, was in position to win, and then, you know, that race it was a crazy ending to that race, and Mateus snuck one out, but Rest looking on the inside in turn one. But these top three have really inched out the gap, 2 seconds over Zach T. Evans in fourth place.
Yeah, they're starting to, these three guys starting to edge out for sure. And it's still interesting, you know, to watch these lines as they run a similar line through one of the corners, and the other corner a little bit different. Some guys entering low, some entering high. It's all going to play dividends as we go along here.
So right now, Coates, Ball, Rest, your top three. We look back to fourth place, Evans. He is starting to catch Rest and Ball. Coates has actually increased his gap out since he took over the lead. It's up to 1 second, and now all of a sudden, Evans is bringing Kinder and company forward, and Ball getting passed by Rest now.
Yeah, Rest going to go on by, and again, it looks like Ball thinking, you know, late run, long run. I always like that. I don't know, though, when you get the lead, I hate to see a guy give up the lead, but he's a big picture kind of guy. We'll see how it plays out here. I think we're only on lap 16, Jared, at 120.
Yeah, and you know, Dean, I was going to ask you, but you kind of already answered it, but is Ball just saying, hey, you know, you guys want to go ahead? Go ahead. I've got my strategy in mind. I know what I have to do. This is what I'm going to do. If you want to pass me, go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been on the track, but I can remember running this track much like I would some NASCAR track that wore out tires, you know, just do what Ball's doing, fading back, and about lap 20, lap 25, you start to reel them in again. It'll be really interesting to see over the next 5 or 10 laps to see if it starts to turn around and starts to turn in Ball's favor or not.
But he's got company. Zach T. Evans and the Frenchman Sebastian Kinder have both come forward here and are on the back of Ball here before too long. Watson, Mateus, Colin Johnston, AJ Musselman, Indy 375 Victor, and Matt Wagner, who is involved in that first incident, are your top 10 currently, and they are all starting to kind of accordion back together, Dean, here inside lap 20.
Yeah, you see a lot of this happening, this accordion effect, and I think it'll happen again. It's going to be hard to walk away, but this is an easier track than some for a leader to get away on, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it. I'm looking a little further back, though, Jared. You know, there seems to be some heavy traffic back around 9th place with AJ Musselman, and you got Wagner in there. I'm not sure who's all in there. It could be a mixture of different lap cars and stuff.
Let's take a look at the battle box here. We can definitely tell you who's in this group. So we've got J.W. Miller, who is back in 15th position, 1 lap down. He is in this battle. Jay Shallington is in this battle. And then we also have Wagner, Cullen Johnston, and Brooks, who is one lap down, all in this little gaggle, Dean, here on lap 20.
We've got ourselves a gaggle. And, I expect this kind of racing because, we talk about you can pass here, but it's tricky. You've got to play your cards right and wait for your time. It's not pass every lap. And we see Mark Wagner go by Cullen Johnston there. So Johnston fading. I don't know what's happened to Cullen Johnston, but he dropped way back, Jared.
He's going to lose 2 positions. Wagner and Musselman going to get around him. Johnston back to 10th place. Now Matt Jorgensen, he's quite a ways back. So Cullen Johnston has about a 11-second lead on 11th place. So the top 10 have kind of branched themselves out. We got a battle for 6th place as Mateus gets underneath James Watson, but Watson fights back on the outside going into turn 1.
Yeah, Mateus starting to make his moves forward now, and we're right at that marker, 22 laps in here, where we should see some real movement out of these cars. And both of these guys seem to be catching, I don't know who the guys are in front of them. That looks like Kinder up there.
Sebastian Kinder with that brightly covered livery. We're not going to say paint schemes. Liveries is what we call them in IndyCar. But Kinder doing a good job there. 5th place. And like I said, Dean, it's really starting to accordion back up. Ball, Evans, Kinder, Watson, Mateus, all under a blanket right now.
I still remember, Jared, the first time someone said they wanted to paint my livery, I almost hit them. What is a livery? But yes, definitely. I'm used to the terminology now, and very, very colorful livery from Sebastian Kinder. If you watch him, he's coming up on 3 cars right now.
Kinder's there. Ball is dropping back again. Zach T. Evans has gotten underneath of him. So Ball gone from the lead, and in 24 laps has dropped 4.5 seconds behind Coates, who has started to gap his teammate Rest, but those guys way out front right now, Dean.
Watson down low on Kinder, run up the track, all out. That's going to give it to Mateus, who comes underneath them.
This is where our battle is. That's where we're focusing right now as these guys go into turn 1. Mateus on the low side, Watson on the high side. Watson gets a great run off the corner, but just can't seem to clear it right there, but then powers down the straightaway.
That's that weird corner, Jared. It is a little weirdness to it on exit where you think I'm clear to exit, and then there's almost like a second corner where you stall up, and you've seen that happen to Watson right there. And Mateus able to make that move. He's looking in on Kinder now.
And now you got Wagner on this battle as we bring up our battle box one more time here. We've got Mateus, Watson, and also Brooks, who is in 14th. Jim Brooks at the tail end of this battle. And or not the very tail end, but that's Wagner back there. Everybody getting really close in here right now, Dean. And I'll tell you what I love the most is the fact that these guys everybody in this group running multiple lines, and it seems to be working really well, putting on a great show right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only going to get better here, as not only will we have the tire wear issue that I've been talking about a lot, but you're going to have also different strategies come forth. So a little bit older tire, a little bit newer tire, as I'm expecting green flag pit stops. I think this thing should go green from here. We had that surprise incident, but it should be a one-off.
And checking back in at the front, Ress has picked up 0.7 of a second over the last 4 laps as we take a look at our lap time history. And Dean, he is there and right on the back of his teammate right now.
He's definitely there. It looks like they got a 3-second gap back to Zach T. Evans, but Ress and Coates are going to do battle here. I think Ress looking a little stronger here. As you see, he gets the power down much better on exit there.
There's a lap car that goes by there, but these guys battling pretty good right now. Evans, Ress wants to win races. There's no doubt about it. He wants to win, and so does Coates. Both these guys, as we said before, haven't won a race. Mateus and Musselman, the only drivers in the top 10 that have. So this is huge night for somebody.
Well, we talked about it before. There's a lot of positives that come from a win. Number one is you want to send a notice for next season, right? You want to say, hey, I'm someone to contend with. Watch out for me. And number two, for your own confidence, a win can catapult you into just a whole new sphere. It doesn't really matter how you get that win. The confidence was coming with saying, I'm a race winner. I beat all these names I thought were unbeatable. I can do it. And now from the rest of the time, you've got that extra bit of confidence under your belt.
Exactly right. We saw that with J.W. Miller. Got his first win in Detroit, and he just rolled off a second place, another win, a second place, and the guy's done great. And then he was involved in a little bit of an incident last week and this week that's kind of derailed him. But Dean, you were talking about it before. Ball was kind of seemed to be the guy holding up the thing right now because Evans got around him, Mateus got around him as those guys battling for third place, and it seems like these guys are catching up to Coates and Rest right now. Very interesting.
It is interesting. I'm not sure what's going on with Ball, but he continues to fade. So I believe that's Matt Wagner who just got around him. Kinder already coming up there, and several others on their way. So Ball, I know he likes the late race stuff, but he is fading a lot here, Jared. Maybe a fuel mileage thing. Who knows?
And Dean, that's why I like working with Dean Doucette, folks. He already knew what I was going to say. I was going to ask you if it was a fuel mileage game, maybe.
It could be. I mean, you talk about it a lot, and I mean, there's not much you can play with here tonight, but maybe the fuel mapping, you can play with that. So he might have that thing turned down and stretching it out a bit.
You see right there, you're looking at this, and this is a gaggle, folks. When I looked at Ball, he just seems like he doesn't have any power coming off of turn 2 there.
No, it's that funky turn. It's very difficult to hit it right and get the power down without checking up. And if you have to check up on mid-exit, boy, is that going to cost you a ton of time.
You're looking out the back of the Frenchman, Sebastian Kinder, and you see the battling. These guys, you got Ball in there. You have also Kinder, Watson, all these guys right there, and also AJ Musselman.
Yeah, this is a gaggle of sorts here. These guys are really doing battle right now. Watson, I think, looking underneath the Ball here, and almost a 3 wide there.
Almost a 3 wide, but elects against it. This battle is Ball, Musselman, Watson, and also looks like J.W. Miller sneaking on the back of that, but he is 2 laps down in 15th position.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate for J.W. He is going to need a caution. I'm not sure he's going to get it here unless he causes one, so he's going to have a lot of work to do. But he looks strong out there.
He always looks good. He's looked very good, but this is a detriment to his points challenge to Wilhite. Even though Wilhite's not here tonight, 15th place doesn't... Oh, we got a wreck. It's right there. And J.W. Miller into the wall. Alex Ball into the wall. They keep going, though.
Wow, little wheel-to-wheel contact. Ball pulls over. Ball's coming in.
Ball uses that access road. That's something I believe that they have to use at Gateway. I know iRacing's changed this track a couple of times. But, yes, Ball is in to the pits, Dean, and wow, that could have been huge, and no doubt he got a little damage off that.
Yeah, no doubt he did. I don't think it was anything worthy of pitting, but he just thought, I want out of this traffic. He's not one to be in these heavy traffic stuff, but yeah, interesting. Ball in on lap 38 as our leaders, Jared, start to do battle again.
Yeah, Rest is dropping back and then catches up, Dean, and this is something you have been pinpoint on, that bubble between these drivers, and it seems like Rest is kind of getting stuck on that bubble. He is able to get up to about a 10th and then only can stay there for a few laps before he drops back to about 8 or 9 tenths.
Yeah, it's so hard on a track like this. You're trying to get that big run, but you're in that little air pocket, and when you come to the exit, your car just washes out to the wall, kills all your speed. You've seen it right there. And and then you got to work another 2 laps to get back there and try again. So it's a lot of work here.
Yeah, it is. These guys, teammates, neither of them have won. Our top 3 have not won. But if they don't look now, if they haven't been paying any attention, let's bring up our time delta here, and you'll see it, folks. Zach T. Evans starting to make some moves with Roger Rios Mateus to come to the front. These guys are catching our leaders.
They are, and it was interesting because Mateus, he wasn't doing anything early on in this race. I'm not sure what Zach T was doing, but all of a sudden now, later in this run, Rios Mateus is starting to march forward.
Got J.W. Miller in the pits. He might have gotten a little damage off of that as well, as the 6 car heading to pit road. He is not having the night he needed here tonight at, I've been saying Gateway, it is World Wide Technology Raceway Park, so apologies to whatever that is. I'm going to call it Gateway because that's what it is. Alec
There
Coates
you go.
still continuing to lead here. Rest in second place. Then we got Evans, who just got in a little bit of a gaggle. Again, we've talked about this a lot, but he's got some lap traffic he's dealing with now. Mateus trying to pounce on him with Wagner in there as well.
Yeah, this is a bit of a hairy situation for these guys, but I'm interested to see. I thought maybe Ball was playing the, let's go long strategy with the way he was driving. He's the only guy who's pitted, Jared. I don't know what's going on out here.
Yeah, this is interesting. Let's take a look real quick here, and I'll bring up our pit laps here for these guys, and you can see where your favorite driver has made a pit. So Mateus, Wagner, those guys involved in that lap 1 wreck, so they had to get a fast repair. They came in on 2 along with Musselman. Teed and Brooks also with a fast repair, so is Shallington.
The leaders are in.
And the leaders are in, Dean.
And Coates and Rest coming down. Coates was starting to open up that gap again, but here we are on pit road.
So 43 for Coates and Rest. That's going to turn the lead over to Wagner, but Mateus is hanging on the outside there in the 21.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And he is pushing out there. He's going to take the lead here. He wants this point, if there is a point for leading the lap.
Yeah, I believe there is a point.
Yeah, so it could be important for him, and he's looking strong. He's got that clean air now, Jared. Let's see what he can really do out here. I imagine he's going to set some great lap times now.
But, man, he was close coming off of turn 2. There wasn't much more room that he could run up there. As you see, Wagner getting a great run off turn 2. One of the first drivers I've seen that's been able to do that. Oh, actually, it's Mateus coming into pit road.
There you go. So I was watching the same thing, thinking, what's happening here? But yeah, he's coming in. Mateus is in. Zach T. Evans is in.
So Wagner continued to stay out. And caution's out. It's Eric McCarthy, one of our new drivers, in the fence.
Wow. Championship implications here, as several guys will be a lap down. Looks like we're going to have about 4 or 5 guys left on the lead lap. I don't think Mateus or Kinder in right now. I don't know, Jared.
And Dean, I'm looking at Alex Ress. I think after the wreck happened, he might have had some other issues. That rear wing is barely hanging on the number 09 car.
Yeah, he definitely did have some kind of issue worthy of looking back at that replay.
So here's Eric McCarthy, which I believe is what caused our caution. So he's coming into turn number 3. Oh, he just gets loose, spins it around, hard impact. I've seen some drivers in real life. Takuma Sada had a big wreck there. And as you see on the bottom there, Ress also spinning at the same time. Let's take a look and see what happened to Alex Ress.
I think he just got spooked, Jared. I'm not sure.
So here's Ress. Yeah, he did. He just slowed up, got down on that rumble strip, and spun around and impact rear end to the wall, and rear wing dislocated.
You know, a real nice job of iRacing there on the damage. I like that dangling rear wing. Really well displayed.
Yeah, very good job on the new damage model, even if it is causing some issues. But Dean, I'll tell you what, it's not been issues for Matt Wagner, AJ Musselman. Both of those guys, along with Charles Teed, who was our pole setter, have come in pit road, and they have that advantage now. They're able to get back into a position up front in the field.
Up front, a lap up, I would think. We're going to have to see how this all sorts out, but it's looking like we're only going to have 5 guys on the lead lap here.
Mateus appears to have gotten lucky and was able to stay to get his pit stop in before the caution came out, and looks like he is going to be leading the event. Wagner and Musselman will come out in second and third. And then we'll have Charles Teed and Jim Brooks, who was a lap down. He's likely to get his lap back, I believe, and be in 5th place. So this is going to change a lot of how this race has right here at the midway point.
And we're going to have a lot of guys get a wave around here. But I don't know how this is going to shake out. But man, oh man, what an untimely caution for several drivers here as they just pitted or were currently on pit road.
Exactly. We're showing, if let's bring up our timing tower, 5 drivers on the actual lead lap. Now, Coates, Ball, Watson, Ress, who is going to have to get a fast repair, Jorgensen, Johnston, and Evans are all at the what we call the tail end of the lead lap, so they'll get the wave around.
Now, Jared, I got to ask you, when you win a championship or you win a Super Bowl or something, where do you go?
Disney World.
You go to Disney World. Well, we just got a shout out. I don't know if Wilhite's counting his chickens before they hatch, but he says hi from Disney. So he's in there rooting on Team Ball all the way from Disney.
Well, there you go. Wilhite doing the Patrick Mahomes and Scott Dixon, I guess, going to Disney World.
Interesting for sure. We hope you have a good time down there, Chris, and glad to see you're here watching this great event.
And Dean, it's been an excellent race tonight. Really, I mean, besides that first incident, we've had battles all over the track, and now we have some. What I find most interesting is when a caution comes out in the middle of the pit stops. As a driver, I hate it. It is the worst thing, but as a commentator, it really shakes things up. It puts all the dice back in there. We're about to shake it up and see what we can roll out. And I'm saying that because gambling is legal in St. Louis. So, yeah, there you go. Fact of the day.
All right. A very good fact indeed. Now, I think a lot of these guys are going to get a wave around. I think Coates, Ball, and Watson. I'm not sure if I'm looking at this right. Yeah, I think they're going around currently right now.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ress actually did lose a lap because of that fast repair. So tough break for him. Kinder also not able to get his wave around in either, so he gets trapped a lap down and will not be able to get back on the lead lap. But that's going to leave us with 11 vehicles, just shy of halfway, 50 of 120 completed here at Gateway.
Man, oh man. And all of a sudden, up 12 spots, it's Rios Mateos on the point. I mean, nobody wanted to gift him this spot, Jared. He started 13th. They wanted to make him work a little bit harder than this to get up here.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Mateus has won at an oval before, and Wilhite has dominated the ovals, but Wilhite not here tonight. Mateus, Musselman, and Miller the only winners, and Mateus the only guy on the lead lap. As the pace car makes the left-hand turn, everybody going up to the high side, and we are about ready to get this thing back under green. And a good start by Mateus. He leaves Wagner in the dust.
He really took off there. Wagner stuck battling with Musselman and Teed there amongst others as they're pretty close together.
Might have had an incident toward the back of that pack. Somebody's slow and off pace, Dean. It looks like maybe somebody's still wrecking. Can't get a good look at who it was.
That's Watson. James Watson, one of our earlier contenders, has gone to the pits.
So we heard it, just couldn't find it. Watson is that driver in trouble there. And Mateus leading out now, but now Wagner trying to come back. And Dean, I believe this is his debut race. From what I know, I think it is his debut race, but having a good showing either way.
Definitely having a great showing out here. And he's in contention for this win. I'm just trying to get a look in on what happened with Watson, Jared. I'm not sure what happened with him. Looked like he never got going.
It was very strange. The wide angle shot we had just saw some smoke out of that machine. Maybe had some engine issues, not sure, but Watson in trouble.
Oh, he got hit, Jared. Now I'm not sure who that was. An all black car come down and locked wheels with him because there was a slight little checkup in front of Watson on the restart.
That is unfortunate for James Watson, who has been coming out strong as Mateus puts down the purple sector, and the quickest lap so far as he's running way up on the wall. And Roger, don't do that. You're leading the race, bud.
Yeah, that's tricky stuff up there.
Wagner in second. Musselman, our Indy 375 victor, in third place. Teed up to fourth. Jim Brooks. That paid off wonderfully for these two drivers, Dean. They were trapped a lap down. They were able to pit before the caution came out, or stay out, and then the caution came out, and then they were able to get themselves back on the lead lap. Third, fourth, and fifth now.
Yeah, fourth and fifth, doing a nice job, looking good. And we're seeing now very fast times being laid down out here. Wagner matching his best of the day. I think just a lap ago, Rios Mateos set his best lap, maybe the best lap of the race. So these guys are flying around here now.
You see the lap time slide out, so 26.378 for Mateus. He is the fastest driver on the track still by about 2/10, Dean. And you can see that in that interval, it is increased up to a second over Wagner in a brilliant start by the driver of the 21. I mean, one of the best ones we've seen all year on the ovals.
Yeah, great start. He really left them there on the dust. I mean, you got to really think about when to go early, lag off a bit, go late, not sure. But Rios Mateos doing an excellent job. Not only that, now that he's in clean air, he is flying. But we just had Charles Teed in fourth lay down his best lap of the race as well.
We saw that pop up there in green on the slide outs. Teed doing a good job, pole setter, but didn't get to lead a single lap because of that incident. He's trying to fight his way back up to the front. Brooks, and then Coates, who is leading a majority of this race, Dean. You talk about an ill-timed caution. Coates is the guy that suffered for this one. He is in 6th place.
Yeah, that really bit him. That was super unfortunate for Alec Coates. He's still there, though. He's got to do some battle to get back up and back in this thing.
So we're on lap 59. Next time by, halfway through the Gateway 150 here. And Mateus out in front, Wagner second, Musselman third. We check back a little bit further back. Alex Ball, 7th place. You know, he came in before this caution. He finished on 36, Dean. I was a little surprised he didn't maybe come in and top things off, but elected to stay out there. And that car, again, kind of looks like he's suffering just a little bit on tire wear maybe.
Not sure what's going on with Ball tonight, but, he is in desperate need of a caution here. He's already about 12 seconds back. I mean, we're only turning 26-second laps, so it won't be long before he has to deal with the leaders.
And, his team Ball cohort, Chris Wilhite out there looking on as Ball almost got in the wall coming off turn 2, Dean. And let's jump on board the number 21 of Roger Rios Mateus as he starts this lap. Actually, we'll catch him next time by here, but Mateus doing a good job out front. But we can kind of look at this lap and just see exactly what these guys are going through at Gateway, because we talked about at the beginning, it's kind of a flatter Darlington version here as Mateus comes off turn 4.
Yeah, and Mateus, what you're seeing him do here is little ebb down off the wall a little bit and kind of swing it out, get that weight transfer to help that cornering of that machine a bit, and it's being really effective for him. Guys should be taking note of the line he's running. Much different from a lot of guys, obviously incredibly fast.
Coming down the back straightaway here, and again, running that higher line, and you saw Dean on board. He dropped all the way down to 3rd gear in turn number 1. A lot of gear changing for an oval track here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. You see him up into 6th right now, 5, 4, 3. I mean, that's a lot of gear changing, no doubt. Be interesting to see if some of the other guys are doing the same thing.
And let's jump mid-pack here. Let's go back to Charles Teed here. On board him, the Dark Horse Racing driver. He's in 4th gear, Dean, coming into turn number 3. Now, he has some draft in front of him. That is AJ Musselman just ahead of him, and that's going to affect him a little bit as he comes off turn 4.
It is, but I mean, you see really a lot less. He's allowing that in 5th gear to just flatline there to really hit that rev limit. And he gets down to 3rd this time. He only went to 4th last time. But a little different on the gearing here, a little late on the shifts perhaps. I think it's costing him a little bit of time. But, I mean, he was a pole sitter, Jared, so, debating him might be tough for me.
Charles Teed trying to recover, trying to get back on that podium. Musselman in 3rd place has slipped back from our top 2 here. That team Raceverse group there, number 54. I think they are in association with Team Ball Racing as well. But you look back, Jim Brooks in 5th place, Coates in 6th place, Ball in 7th, Evans in 8th, John, and he is battling right now with Evans and Ball battling for 7th, I should say.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be much of a battle. Ball doesn't seem to be putting up too much of a fight tonight. Looks like maybe he's ready to go racing here as he's holding up on the outside pretty well through that corner.
Dan, we're looking at, some software over here. I got the 40 lap average pulled up, and that was Charles Teed was our best driver over 40 laps. So we have to keep an eye on him. It seems like ball's in the wall, and Evans runs him over.
Oh my goodness.
Evans has lost the right front wing, and that is huge, and he can't get it slowed down.
It won't turn enough to come down there, and now it's overturning. He's in all kinds of trouble.
He didn't hit anything, but you can't really tell from the cockpit that you're missing part of the wing if you still have the other part. He knew he had damage, just couldn't tell how much, and just went in there a little bit too hot. But he's going to keep going, but lose a lap. That is a tough break for Zach T. Evans.
Yeah, that's a huge tough break there. Not sure what exactly happened there between him and Ball. It looked like he just kind of ran up on Ball and clipped that wing off.
Dean, going back to our stint analyzers here, Wagner is actually our best driver here in this second run. He just is just a little bit too far back right now to make something happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, you say that. I look at the times, and it's still Rios Mateos to me that is the quickest out here. But somehow Wagner is staying within touch here. It's only 2 seconds back, so it's doing an excellent job.
We'll have to keep an eye on those stints as we keep going up as Zach T. Evans on pit road. Unfortunate there for him. And Dean, we take a look back at Cullen Johnston. He's in 8th place, last driver on the lead lap as he's battling the Ball now.
Oh boy, Ball just can't seem to stay away from the traffic out here. And we'll see if these guys can race clean off the corner. A little checkup from Ball. He's going to let him in.
Yeah, I think Ball may have had damage. I don't see any, actual physical damage on that machine. But I would say if you got ramped over, you probably do have a little bit of damage on the rear end, I would think, as Kinder's going to look.
I think so, but he could have just hit the tire. He could be fine out there, but right now it looks like that's not rest. Someone's going to take that right on by Ball.
And that's the Frenchman Kinder, who has shown 1 lap down in 10th place. So he is racing back with Ress to get that free pass driver position. So that's a battle within a battle there. But Ress is quite a bit ahead of Kinder right now. But right now it is about a 3-second gap between those two drivers.
Yeah, pit stops for a caution before lap 50. So let's say they can go at least 50, Jared. We've really only got 50 laps left. I mean, pit stops are open. If you got a strategy call, you want to do something, you know how I like the different strategy. Heck, you like the undercut. Maybe it's time to pit already.
Yeah, the only problem, we race at a lot of tracks, and Gateway is a unique track in which you're running the same kind of lap times you do it. You're running slower actually at Gateway than you do at Chicagoland or some of these other bigger tracks. And the other problem is it's a difficult pit road because you have to use that access road. You're going to lose laps, and you really just have to time it appropriately, Dean, as we're heading into 45 laps to go. Definitely pit window flashing green, very much open for business at this point.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. We haven't seen a lot of guys really in any series we cover really be that outside the box, but I would love to see someone come in over the next couple laps and roll that dice and see how it plays out. I think they're going to at least gain several positions, if not, be a race winning race.
Yeah, and I agree. I think, as a driver, and as a commentator, you sit here and you see these moves and you're like, oh man, why don't you do that?
Right.
But as a driver, you're in the car and sometimes you just get paralysis by analysis. You're just kind of like, I know it's going to work. I know what we need. And then you don't want to make an off-call schedule there.
Yeah, well, you really put yourself on the line, right? You're going to go way off schedule like that. You're going to either be a hero or a zero, if you will, and nobody wants to be a zero, and that fear really stops people. But the people who risk it, even if it doesn't work, you get so much information. You learn so much for another race and perfect that strategy a little bit better each time.
Yeah, exactly. And with the IndyCar series, if you're one of these guys like Musselman or Teed or Brooks, guys that aren't in this points battle at all, I think you just go for it. I think you go down pit road, you make a call, and you do something different. Because, Dean, as you always say, if you do what the leader does, you're going to come out behind the leader.
Yeah, you're just going to play follow the leader. That's exactly what you got. We got a little battle developing between Musselman and Teague. I think that's Jim Brooks right in that battle as well.
Yeah, that's a quite a bit of a battle. So we have Wagner, Musselman, Teed, and Brooks all in this group here. Wagner just a little bit ahead there, so he's not quite in this battle. But Dean, this is a big group. This is a battle for the last podium position, which is good bragging rights just as well.
Absolutely, it is. You know, you get to interview by us and get a little shout outs to some of your sponsors and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this is all for pride and confidence. We talk about confidence so much. Some of these guys really need it. You know, they haven't had great runs yet this year, mostly due to luck, bad luck that is, and they could really use a podium finish here tonight.
Well, you also talked about it, Dean, earlier. Momentum, the big Mo, having a good run at the end of the season. I mean, that even though you're going to have a couple weeks off before you go back racing between the seasons, that's huge. You still have that momentum on your side going into the brand new season. That can be even bigger when you're trying to put yourself in a championship position for the next season.
Yeah, momentum's not just a real thing about, you know, how you finish and how you race and all that, but it's also, it propels you to get out there. You start to believe in yourself, which makes you get out and practice more, which makes you better. It all snowballs into itself.
39 laps to go here at Gateway International Raceway. Mateus leading. That gap has come up to 3 seconds over Wagner, who is starting to drift back just a little bit. Mateus just really, you look at his lap times, I mean, it has just been unbelievable what this guy has been able to do over the last few laps. He's just really thrown it down.
Yeah, he's definitely throwing it down and doing a great job out here. I mean, when you look behind him, you got J.W. Miller. J.W. 3 laps down. Unbelievable bad luck for Miller right off the start of the race tonight.
And the 29 machine of Alex Ball into pit road. He was the early stopper last time. He is in early this time compared to everybody else. So Ball coming in. Let's see how that plays out for him. But now Ress and Kinder have both passed him on the track, so he definitely does not want to pit stop. And Miller is also in as well.
Miller coming in, abandoning any hope of a caution for him. This is, I mean, I like the fact that Ball came in. I think it's too late on the early strategy, but still, he's first in, Jared. He should be able to gain a couple of spots. I think he came in about 8th place, so we'll see how that plays out for him.
The battle for third still heating up. Teague does give it around Musselman. Musselman tries to fight back on the inside, just couldn't quite do it. And Teague now up to 3rd place. Musselman dropping back just a little bit. And Brooks can't stay with this battle. But that's allowed Coates to kind of start to touch base on this group as well, as he's trying to recover after kind of getting bent over by that caution.
Yeah, he was definitely bent over by it. You know, watching Musselman and Teague here, Jared, and you see Musselman as we head down into this next corner. He comes down in here, he drives the first half of the corner so much harder than Teed, and it's the exact opposite off the corner.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier, Dean. You know, these guys, as Coates comes in, along with his teammate Cullen Johnston, so Mediocre Motorsports heading into pits, and right behind him, Jim Brooks scrapes the wall coming off turn number 2, and now he is going to head to pit road as well. But, Dean, we talked about it, different lines around this relatively flat Gateway International.
Definitely different lines. I mean, nobody's got it figured out better than our leader, Rios Mateos. And he seems to be on that high, you know, medium side. I don't see him going all the way down the track. I mean, I haven't watched him in a few laps. I hope I don't eat my words here, but he's generally staying in the middle part of the track through those corners.
Let's look from the helicopter camera as you see him go into the turn, middle groove. I would consider that middle groove, then down to the bottom, kind of diamond it out, and that could be a long run strategy there, as we see Brooks is in pit road down the way, and then going into turn 3. Dean looks like he's entering and kind of hugging that bottom line. It looks like bottom to middle.
Yeah, most definitely. He's just doing a nice job. He's keeping it smooth. He's doing everything he needs to do, and just an excellent job all around.
I have to say, what is most fascinating about this race is the mimicking of real life. If you watch a race, IndyCar race at Gateway, as we see Mateus head in, these guys do swing down the straightaways in order to kind of rotate that car better into the turns. It's really interesting to see these guys pick up on that here on the sim, as Mateus is in, and looks like he is going to be joined by Wagner as well as Teague goes by to take the lead.
Yeah, Teague going to take the lead here. He's going to stay out. Why not? That's the only call you got at this point is stay out here, hope for a caution, or just a late race charge on new tires. But I watched Mateus in the pits, everything clean for him, so no failure in the pit stop this time.
So now it's Teed and Musselman. Dean, do these guys, do they have a shot by staying out long here? Are they just kind of hoping for a caution, or is there something to this long run strategy they got, or the overcut as we call it?
There would be. I mean, I like the overcut in general, but with only 30 laps to go, no, it's not going to work. But yes, the caution, that is what you're hoping for. You've already decided, I really don't think I can beat him at this point with only 30 to go. I'm going to run this tank dry and hope like hell for a caution, because that would, almost for sure be a race winning move.
And you see Mateus has come out right behind Charles Teed, so it's only Teed and Musselman on the lead lap. And we saw this a couple races ago, our last oval race at Richmond. J.W. Miller had a similar situation, was leading the race, caution comes out, traps everybody a lap down, and he wins by a lap because of that caution.
Yeah, it can happen, and it can happen at any time. I mean, how many times have we seen a guy play a strategy like this, Jared? He finally gives up, comes in, and as the minute he comes in, a caution comes out. So sometimes you just need one more lap, and Teague's going to do it as Musselman comes in.
Yeah, Musselman abandons strategy. Mateus takes over, gets his lap back, and now Teed is heading in. So that means everybody will have pitted as Kinder and McCarthy come in. They are the last of the group that had not pitted. So Charles Teed in the pits, Dean. And he's going to have a quick stop. Otherwise, Mateus is really going to eat up this lap.
Yeah, Mateus is going to, he is out there. He's laying down some laps. He's going to be in really good shape here.
Coming down the back straightaway here. Teed, as you see him down there, that is that one. He is not in his pits yet. He is just now stopping in his pits. Mateus is at the start-finish line. So, yes, Mateus definitely going to take over the lead by a large margin here.
Yeah, Teed did a nice job in the pits, though. Right now, Wagner showing in second. He's only 2.5 seconds off the lead here. So Wagner doing a nice job.
Wagner was about 3 seconds back when he pitted. Now down to 2.6 as it runs right now. 2.7 it looks like. And looks like Teed's going to come out fifth, losing ground to Musselman, who came in one lap before. So the overcut definitely looks to have been the slower strategy tonight. And it kind of puts him in the middle of a battle as Brooks, the winner of that group, pitted 6 laps earlier than these other guys, and he's in third place with a nice little gap over Musselman and Teed and Coates.
Yeah, I think with the limited amount of laps, the undercut was definitely the way to go. But this race isn't over. We'll see how this plays out between these three. But you really hate to put yourself in a position with only 25 laps left to have to make passes to get back to where you were.
Yeah, exactly right, Dean. You look at these guys, Teed in this group, also Musselman and Coates. That's where a real battle is on the track. 1.3 seconds, I should say, separating fourth and sixth place, as Coates really needing a good run to get himself back in this championship picture, as he's missed the last 2 events.
Yeah, Coates, another guy who just needs a solid finish too for confidence. I mean, he's a confident driver to begin with, but things haven't been going his way too much lately, and he could use a decent finish here.
So here we go, as we got a couple drivers on pit road. Jay Shallington heading in, but Mateus putting some guys a lap down. That's James Watson just ahead of him. So Mateus looking to lap him again, as you see Jay Shallington come off the pits. Watson gets out of the way. Class move by the newcomer.
Yeah, Watson looking so good tonight. He's looked good at a few races. Not much luck for James, but he'll be back as he comes into the pits now.
And don't look now, Dean, but your number 29 is the next victim on the list for Mateus, as Ball is in 10th place, 1 lap down, and Mateus about to put him 2 laps down.
Yeah, Ball not looking good
Oh,
tonight.
my goodness.
Wow. A large checkup from our leader as he almost ran over Ball.
That would have been very bad. And it looked like Ball was just a little bit tight there. Mateus did not expect the closing rate to be that high. Nearly catastrophe there. And that little checkup brings Wagner within 1.6 seconds.
I don't know what's going on with Ball, but could this be a weight jacker issue? Jared? Maybe just over cautious with that weight jacker?
I think so. Ball, is an excellent IndyCar racer, but sometimes, like, we kind of talk about as a driver, you get in that paralysis by analysis. You're like, well, if I move the wave jacker, I'm too loose in turn one, but you don't with Gateway being so different, it's really hard to set up the weight jacker for an entire lap, and I think that might be what Ball is struggling with.
Yeah, definitely not his night tonight, but we always talk about it. One guy's bad night, another guy's good night, as AJ Musselman and Teague Brooks are doing battle still, or at least Musselman and Teed, I believe, are doing battle.
Yeah, Brooks, that was a very, very quick pass. Brooks gave up that lead and has dropped back already to 6th place, as Brooks I'm getting word, may have clipped the wall, as he is actually heading to pit road. So he is a tough night for the driver that was in 3rd place.
Jim Brooks is 76, having a really nice run. How unfortunate for him. That car definitely looked off pace. He's struggling just to get it on pit road and steer that thing.
It looked like he just clipped the wall off of turn 2. Unfortunate event there for him. And that is going to pretty much drop this battle down to Teed and Musselman for 3rd place, as they have left Coates in the dust. And Teed looking on the inside, going off turn 4. Can't quite get it, trying to get the toe down into turn 1. Won't look this time.
Yeah, these guys been swapping around all race long. I'm going to look in on their pit laps, Jared. I think one of these guys has a distinct advantage on the pit lap.
Yeah, let's take a look at that, actually. And Dean, you bring up a good point. Let's bring in the pit laps here, and let's take a look. And you see it there, lap 88 for Mateus, 87 for Wagner, 91 for Musselman, 92 for Teague, 84 for Coates. So Coates, the big disadvantage of this group right now, the earliest pitter of the lead lap drivers.
Yeah, that was a little bit wrong on the Musselman and Teed. It was Coates who was in much earlier than these guys. But these two, man, they look like they're going to keep swinging at each other right to the end of this thing.
I think caution's out. It's Zach T. Evans.
I've seen someone else up there slow. I don't know. I think it was Ball. Ball looks heavily damaged as well.
So Zach T. Evans looks like he's just came off a pit lane, going into turn 3, and yeah, loose, just like we saw the first incident. Heavy impact into the wall, and it is Ball. He smashes into Evans. Holy cow. Massive damage for the 29 machine, as he could not get that car slowed down and slams right into the side of Evans.
Yeah, a little indecisiveness from Ball. You see him check up mid-corner, kind of move up the track like he was going to go high to avoid him, then decide, no, I got to go low, and by then you're right in the middle of the car.
Let's take a look from Alex Ball's onboard camera. Here he comes. He is coming off the back straightaway, driving pretty normal. And Zach T. Evans has a black car, so it's a little bit hard to see as well. Stays low, and then oh my goodness. I see what happened. There looked like there was some debris, Dean, that came down the track. I think he mistook that for being the car, and then ended up running right into the car.
Yeah, unfortunate, but he was having a rough night all around with Ball, so not that big of a hurt to him. He wasn't in the top 5 or anything, but he'll lick his wounds and get back out here.
Well,
but we got a big one here. I don't know what's going on. Everybody in but Teed.
Everybody has come in the pits, folks, except Charles Teed, the pole setter. 14 laps to go, Dean. I love it. I love the strategy, man. We're going to have a dandy now.
I don't like it personally, but he's only 14 laps old. I mean, I don't know. What kind of times was he running, Jared? Do we maybe pull up the lap history or something and see what Teed was running at the end of that run?
See if we can get any information here. So his last lap before the caution was 27.816. Or sorry, the last lap before the caution was a 27.1. So the last 3 laps we show there are caution influenced laps. So 27.01. Now we compare that to the best time of the race, and for Teed it was a 26.2. So it's a little under 1 second difference right now, Dean. I don't know. We saw how much Coates dropped off that battle for 3rd place. I have to say that even though I like the call to stay out, he might be a sitting duck here.
He might be, but he also, one thing is for sure, he's going to cause some issues for Mateus and others. And who knows, cautions, different guys coming and having to check up or touch the wall a little bit. I don't know. A lot of stuff can happen now. So Teague at least trying, and we got to applaud him for that.
These cautions tonight have come out at pretty much the most opportune time for interesting action on the racetrack. As you see, Teed, it's going to be Mateus, then Wagner, Musselman, Coates, and Cullen Johnston will be the free pass driver. So huge for Cullen Johnston as he gets back on the lead lap, which means as long as he keeps that car going, he'll finish at least in 6th place. So that's a big run for the number 9 machine here tonight. Everybody else at least 1 lap down or more.
Yeah, really nice to see Cullen Johnson get his lap back. He's been fighting all season long, looked really good at times, and here he is now in 6th, and he's got a shot at a race win, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is going to be massive. And the reason why I like the strategy, Dean, Charles Teed not in the championship, right? None of these guys are except Coates. And, I mean, you might as well try something. You're not going to beat Roger Rios Mateus head up, I don't think. Try something different. See what happens. You're going to have about 12 laps to go or 10 laps to go when we get this thing restarted, I think.
Yeah, I applaud him. Try something. Try anything. And laps are only, what do we got? 16 lap old tires. A couple of those under caution. So they're really not that bad. I don't know if those times you called out are indicative of what he's capable of, but he's definitely going to be a little slower. But I don't know, man. He might, that dirty air and stuff, he might be able to hold him off.
The key, Dean, and I think you'll agree, you have to get the restart of your life. We've seen this all week long on various races we've covered. This is a crucial restart, and you've got to get the best jump possible if you're Charles Teed.
Yeah, it's interesting I don't know if you do, Jared. I don't know if you want to keep him in the dirty air or let him get that big run back up to you. I don't know what I'd want to do, but I know what I would do, and that's I'd go like heck.
So here we go. 11 laps to go when the green flag comes out. Pace car is off. Restart zone is now. Teed holds him back. He is doing what you're saying, Dean, and he gets it going. It gets a great start. He checked everybody up, Dean, just like you kind of called it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the alternate way of doing it, and I like it. Kind of throw everybody back, and then they hope they get grouped together and start getting side by side. So right now, Wagner comes up on Rios Mateus.
And that exactly is what Teed wants as Wagner looks underneath the 21 car. He's going to take second. He slides up the track as he tried to drive in there deep. That's going to allow Mateus to look back underneath. Can't quite do it here.
And Teed is setting sail with 10 to go. He's got a big lead out here, and these two are doing battle to see, and here comes Musselman.
These guys don't care. They want to race for the lead too. So Mateus, our guy that's been dominating this midpoint of the race, he has dropped to 3rd place, got a mirror full of AJ Musselman now as Wagner starts to scoot away and close the gap to Teed.
Man, this is painful for Rios Mateos, but great for Wagner and Teed, as these guys were really fast. They were 1-2 on the board in qualifying. They're 1-2 in the race right now. Nobody thought they'd be back up here, but here they are.
Dean, I have to say, Charles Teed put down a 26.4 last time by, which was faster than Mateus, Musselman, and Coates, who all have new tires. The problem? Wagner put down 26 flat.
Yeah, Wagner's looking like the man to challenge and possibly win this thing, but applaud Teed, a 26.4 on the older tires. He's absolutely flying around here, and he's protecting that high side already. Oh, here comes Wagner.
And here's the snake. Keep him, make him make a pass on the outside. He's guarding the rumble strips on the bottom, trying to keep that car as pinned down as he possibly can. As he's going to guard the bottom side, Wagner's going to have to look on the outside going into 1.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake. I think the outside will prevail out of this corner. He should have protected the high side in that corner.
That was easy.
That was too easy for Wagner. It's just the wrong corner. 2 distinctly different corners, and in that particular corner, he wanted to protect the high side. But nonetheless, Matt Wagner, your new race leader.
What a move by Wagner. He played that to perfection. He said, you know what? I'll take the outside line if that's what you're going to give me. he puts himself into the lead here with 6 laps to go here at Gateway. Looking back further, Musselman has gotten around Mateus.
Mateus falling to 4th. It's just got to be eating him alive. You know, he's not content with 4th place at any track.
Exactly right, Dean. You see Wagner checking out now. Teed doing valiant, though. I mean, his lap times aren't that bad. I mean, they're still faster than Musselman and Mateus, but Wagner putting in some of his best laps all night.
Yeah, Wagner is flying. And, you know, this is clean air, too, right? We've seen what Mateus could do. We've seen what others could do. You get out there in front, you got that clean air, you start to get away. But, you know, applaud Teed. He is hanging in there in second, doing a great job.
Wagner leading still, and that gap coming up more and more. But you got, like you said, Dean, have to applaud Charles Teed for the strategy move. And he's still going to get out of here, I think, with the second or at least the 3rd place finish. As Mateus just really struggling on these new tires, Dean. Just doesn't seem to be able to get the heat in him or something.
Well, new tires, and we've seen this early on in the race. He started back in about 13th place, and he was not good early on for the first half of the run. It was not until late in the run he came along, and I don't think he likes that dirty air early on fresh tires, and, you know, this is where he's been. So Teed, applaud Teed. He stayed out. He caused this mayhem. Wagner is the one who's really going to benefit out here leading this thing.
And Dean, I think it's a little bit ironic. The guys that started on the front row tonight are likely going to finish 1 and 2 here tonight, despite not leading a lap until about 15 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, just amazing how it's turned out. It's almost like, you know, the racing gods said, you guys were the quickest, we're going to give it to you or something. But they earned it. They did a great job and great decision making. They're
able to recover, and that's important. And this could be a huge momentum boost for either of these drivers, as Wagner is going to take the line. 2 laps to go here at Gateway. Teed in second, Musselman in third. Not really any battles on the track, as Coates is going to hold on to 5th place right now. Johnston in 6th. Look back further through these guys. Right now, some of these lap traffic guys. Jorgensen pushes his way to the top 10, along with Jay Shallington. So good runs for those guys who are going to recover for a top 10 finish, as Wagner takes the white flag here at Gateway.
Yeah, Matt Wagner, number 11, coming through 1 and 2, looking solid, no mistakes, and it's all his.
A great race by Wagner. Started second, didn't lead a lap until 7 laps to go here tonight. And the 11 car coming off turn number 4, and he's going to take his first career victory here at ESRA, and I believe his first start here at Gateway. Matt Wagner is your winner. Charles Teed second. Musselman will grab your last podium, with Mateus, Coates, and Johnston are your lead lap finishers here tonight.
Yeah, and then you're going to have Rest, Kinder, Jorgensen, and Shallington in your top 10. JW back in 11th. So some of these guys back here. Jim Brooks was up front early. James Watson was up front. This guy's tough nights. Ball, you see, and Evans having tough nights.
Fireworks going off in the background for Matt Wagner, who will head up to the front and do his celebratory donuts. Dean, and Dean, we review the race here real quick. What an interesting race. Starts off lap 1, second corner wreck between Wagner and Teed, our first and second place finishers here tonight. These guys dropped to be in a lap down, had to fight back through it, but the first part of that race, for the first pit stops, Coates dominated this race with Rest. Then the second phase was all Mateus. It looked like it was Mateus' race to lose at that point. And then all of a sudden, the guys that start on the front row come back and finish 1 and 2 tonight.
Yeah, highly interesting how this all developed. You know, some untimely cautions and timely for others. It really switched things around. That first lap incident also taking Benjamin Cones out. Let's not forget about him. But yeah, man, Wagner and Teed back up here. I never thought it would have happened. What a turn of events.
Huge race, huge championship implications. We'll get into that here in a minute, but let's take a look at our final results. Dean ran most of them down here, but we, you have to point out Alex Ball finishing a dismal 15th position here tonight. Zach T. Evans back in 16th. Scott Weiss out with an early wreck. He finishes 17th. Combs 18th, and Patrick Byrne didn't make the grid. I don't know if he'll be credited with 19th or not here tonight, but what a race it was from Gateway. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to hear from our top 3 finishers in a very exciting Gateway 150. All right, we're back live here at Gateway International Raceway, where Matt Wagner grabs the victory, Charles Teed second, and AJ Musselman grabs third position. Dean, what a race it was here tonight, as we saw pretty much anything you could ask for.
And we really did. It was quite interesting. Not really what we were expecting, Jared. Something a little different, and that's fine too. It was entertaining in its own right. You know, this track can produce some great passing and great racing. We see more of a strategy race slash, it wasn't really strategy calls. It was forced strategy, just untimely cautions and weird events. And, these guys persevered. Matt Wagner, what a job.
Exactly right. And we're going to hear from our top 3 competitors here. And we're going to start with Mr. AJ Musselman. AJ, great run here tonight, recovering to finish in third place after winning at Indy earlier in the year. Good run here tonight at Gateway.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, it was a great race, but how about that first lap?
Yeah, what a crazy event. I mean, from your vantage point, you're right in the thick of it. Not a way you want to start the race off, is it?
No. Luckily, got through there without any damage. I pitted just in case there was damage because I knew it was close in my rearview mirrors. But yeah, good race, pretty clean race overall after that initial wreck and the one in the middle. The setup was a challenging setup, but I like a challenge. I like to have to really manhandle the car. I had a good battle there with Charles Teed for about 15 to 20 laps in the middle of the race there. That was a blast.
Yeah, so you brought up a really good thing there, AJ. How difficult was the setup with the track combination? I mean, were you managing those weight jackers and ARBs a lot in this race, or did you find a setting and stick with it the whole time?
You're making adjustments throughout the race. It's different on cold tires versus, once you get some temperature into them. So starts pretty loose. So you have to kind of tighten the car up. And then within a few laps, you're trying to add some oversteer into it. And then typically when the tank gets emptier, the car gets loose again. So now you're tightening it back up. So it's really important to stay ahead, ahead of the changes that the car is going to make. Otherwise, you're going to lose some time.
So you came home third place here tonight. You won at Indy earlier in the year in a really amazing race there. You're heading into a couple more races left in the season. I know you've been part-time. Can we expect to see you back out here to finish off the season?
Yeah, I think I'll be at the season finale, Vegas for sure. I love that track, so I do plan on doing that. And most likely, I'll be back full time for the next season here. Just waiting to see what the schedule looks like. Good group of people to run with, and I love the IR18, so I'll probably be back for next season full time.
Well, we look forward to it. AJ, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight. I'm going to turn it over to you, man, and let you have the last word here tonight.
No, shout out to all my friends and family that are watching, and thank you to the admins for putting this on, and to the competitors for a clean race. Some great battling out there.
All right, Dean, you heard it there. AJ Musselman grabbing third position here tonight. I believe you're standing down on the pit road with our second place finisher, Mr. Charles Teed.
Yeah, I got the number 50, second place tonight, Charles Teed. Congratulations, Charles.
Thank you. I left a lot out there. Obviously, the start of the race was a complete shit show, and that was my fault. I had to reboot my machine right before the start of the race because I got booted out, and my spotter didn't reboot. So I had no idea he was out there. I don't race in VR, and killed the whole field. So I felt terrible at that. After that, though, that was some of the most fun I've ever had. Racing back around from a lap down, had a rocket. It wasn't meant to be, but it was a blast.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe the win wasn't meant to be, but you put on an exciting show out there. You talked a lot about that first corner or first lap incident there. Pretty unfortunate stuff, but you gathered yourself up and you persevered, man. What a job. Let's jump right to the end here, Charles. So
Yep.
everybody comes in and you decide to stay out. Man, what a call.
I did it because I knew I could get by a couple of them, but I was going for a win. That's where my head's always at, and I overshot turn one on, I don't know, the second lap before he got around me. He probably gets me anyways, but I could have probably played some aero games and made it a challenge for him. But yeah, then we settled into second. I think we both had equal tires. Matt and I were going to have a war. We do everywhere we race, so I was fighting with a hand behind my back, but it's only fair after making that big of a bonehead mistake at the beginning of the race.
Well, there's some of that, but that's another point. You must have been extremely happy that it was Matt up there because the very guy you were involved in the wreck with. You start 1-2 on the night, you end up fighting at the end of the race. Somehow, some way, it's you two at the end, and I'm sure you're happy to see Matt get it.
Yeah, we run together in a couple of other series as teammates, and so he's had some rough luck, so I'm glad he got it. There's that the video of that will be making its way around the internet, I'm sure, with music or something. But yeah, he had a rocket and he threw down the fastest lap of the race there at the very end once he got clean air. But I want to thank Alec and Colin for letting us come run. It's the only occasion I can run with you guys, but it's a fun group, and that was a lot of fun to drive that car. It was an absolute handful.
Well, it brings us to a question. We're going to have another season starting up. Is your schedule going to open up at all? Are you considering coming here full time?
I would love to. We have several guys that do. I know Ben and Corley run pretty regularly, and now Jim. I just have a challenge with being a dad to manage. Thursday night's tough, so if I can, I certainly will. Alex, an awesome dude and fun and really quick guy to run with, and I just feel like such a clown dumping the field. It felt like when I'm sitting there stopped, it looked like every car in the field had damage, so that was
Well,
really sweet.
of course you feel bad about those things, but we love seeing you out here, man, and we hope to see you more. Family first, I always say it though.
Yeah.
Take care of that family, take care of those kids. Charles, what a night. Really happy to see you out here. We got some tough tracks coming up. I think we're headed to mid Ohio, at least it's coming up on the schedule. How are your feelings on that kind of track?
That's a fun track, actually. I don't do a lot of road racing, but I actually do like that one. So you never know. I'll certainly be running Indy 500s with you guys and make all of those. But when I can, when my schedule allows, I'm going to sneak over here and next time try not to kill everybody. So it was a lot of fun. I think that's the first time ever that I've been able to race back through and get my lap back under green. So I knew I had a really fast car. I just needed yellows to fall my way, and it didn't quite go that way. And I didn't deserve it after what happened on the first lap.
Well, anyway, Charles, congratulations,
Thank you.
man. Second place, a really hard fought second place. You made it entertaining for us too with that pit call. I love people who try to win, man. I applaud you for it. big congrats. And
Thank
anybody
you.
you want to thank or anything?
Yeah, I want to thank these guys here. That this is a really fun group at ESRA. So thanks to them, Alec, for letting us run. We kind of work together with our Dark Horse League. So I want to thank them. Congrats to Matt and AJ had a good run. AJ was driving a dually in front of me. It was damn near impossible to get around for about 15 laps. To let the leaders kind of get away from me. But I've always kind of been to the mindset, if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. So I always kind of try and go opposite. And let's go see if we have a shot to win the son of a bitch.
And a man after my own heart, Jared, take the
Yep.
words right out of my mouth with the follow the leader bit. But that's
Yep.
Charles Teed, man. Second
Thank
place
you.
tonight, Jared.
Yeah, I had to laugh there, Dean. I literally thought it was you in the booth there for a second when Charles said that, but good run for him. And I'm down here in victory lane with our winner, Matt Wagner. Congratulations, Matt. What a run you had there at the end. Race didn't start off maybe the way you wanted to, but it definitely had to ended the way you wanted to.
Yeah, the start was yeah, I'd rather not go there. But at the end of the race, the correct call was to take tires and to beat that clean air, you're gonna have to take tires, and it pulled off.
Yeah, so I mean, you were one of the fortunate ones in that early wreck that didn't lose a lap. So you were able to kind of manage your stuff up there. You're running through the mid pack of that race, battling with the likes of Kinder and the likes of Rios Mateus. I think Colin Johnston, rest were in there as well. But then this race kind of turns up on its head. Looked like this is going to finish out. Looked like Mateus was going to be the guy to beat in this race. Then all of a sudden, caution comes out, 10 laps to go. Were you 100% dedicated to coming down pit road, even if Charles or the leader at that point, Mateus, stayed out?
Yes, 100%. I was committed to come to pit road because right now I know clean air means everything in these cars, but as far as the challenging setup, we're gonna need some tires, and it worked.
Well, you played it perfectly here tonight, and what a run it was. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Matt, this is your first event here, or is it your second one?
This is actually I did the Indy 500 with these guys, and they put
Gotcha.
on a great show. And this is my, I guess you can call it my first official race. I guess second. We would call it my second one, really.
I thought you had raced before, but I couldn't remember where. But yeah, you at Indy, and you look at that race. You had I think got involved in a little bit of an incident early in that race, but you come back here tonight, get the win at Gateway. Are you looking forward to maybe racing more over here, or is this kind of a one-off thing? Or
Right now, I'm looking at it like a part-time schedule. I love the challenging setup that these guys put out. It kind of made me want to drive for more, but we'll see how it all pans out for me.
gotcha. Can we expect to see any in the car with the last two races here at Mid Ohio or Las Vegas?
Mid Ohio, I love road courses. You probably will see me there. Las Vegas, I don't know about that one.
Well, I got you, Matt. Well, congratulations on your win. Two starts and a one win. I mean, that's a pretty good ratio. Congratulations on that victory. I'm going to turn it over to you, man, and let you have the last word here tonight.
You thank Alec Coates and Colin Johnston for letting me in tonight. They put on a great setup for this league. ERSA, Dark Horse Racing, Area 51, Lionheart Series, Bud Kicker, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. They've made me a better racer, racing with these guys and Charles and Jim Brooks. I I love them guys very much.
Well, we're glad to hear it, Matt, and hope to see you back on the track later this year or even next season. And congrats again on your win. Dean, what a race it was. Matt Wagner didn't have the race he probably wanted at the beginning, but it all turned out for him at the end.
Yeah, it really did. And you got Teague and Sutton using our calls from the booth and the interviews there. You got to love the thinking. I know I do. But yeah, Wagner and we had it all. Mateus out there leading. We had that first lap incident. And, we had a lot of action there mid pack with Musselman and others fighting. Jim Brooks was involved. You had other Zach T. Evans was fighting good for a while. Watson looked good. So lots of hope to go around for different guys as we move forward, and especially into next season.
Yeah, exactly right. And take a look briefly at our point standings. Wilhite unofficially with a 41-point lead over J.W. Miller. J.W. had a big opportunity tonight, unfortunately involved in that lap 1 incident and could not recover from it. Nobody in the top 11 changed positions. Watson, Jorgensen, Musselman all up 5 positions, though, in their standings. So there is some positions still up for grabs in this IndyCar series, Dean. But with Wilhite, I believe, missing next week's race at Mid-Ohio, so he'll be back for Las Vegas, and that's huge. That's going to be huge. It's all going to come down to Vegas, I believe.
Yeah, it'll all come down to Vegas, no doubt. I mean, Wilhite is, almost there, but he's got to get back out on track and finish things off. And we got other guys who are really trying to make their name known heading into next season.
You're exactly right, Dean. Well, that's going to do it here from St. Louis, Missouri, here at Gateway International Raceway. We have some more events coming up this weekend. Weekend full of events on Full Throttle TV. Saturday night, the Full Throttle Sim Racing Sports Car Series will be back for their first sprint event of the year, 50 minutes at Charlotte. Those guys going to have a great show on Saturday night, 9 p.m. Myself, Dean Doucette, back in the booth on that one. And then Saturday night, we're back with these guys, the Elite Sim Racing Association Clash Series. I don't know where they're at this week, unfortunately, but Dean Doucette, Brad Patterson be on the call. Check those out this weekend coming up. Some great events here on Full Throttle TV. But for tonight, I'm Jared Carr. For Dean Doucette, we will see you guys out on the track.